It's DEW Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine. You're on with this DEW Time with Pastor Steph. How are you this morning? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. For this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So, where were you last week? Last week we started off shaking the Monday morning blues with the DEW Time crew, and we talked about a bunch of chaos. No matter which way we turned, there was chaos. And we talked about a group of friends that were playing with a gun, thinking it was empty, pretending to shoot one another. Now, this is a game. This is a game, just one level of chaos. And one friend went to pretend and actually shot her friend in the head, all while thinking the gun was unloaded. Why? Because earlier that day, she had pointed the gun to herself and it didn't go off. So as far as she was concerned, everything was okay. And that walked us right in to the switch with Shantice. Stop the self-destruction. All the stories we had were chaotic, but was self-destructive in nature. And God has no desire that we kill and destroy ourselves. Why? Because the enemy has already set his sight on doing that. The word of God tells us that be sober, be vigilant, because the enemy is seeking, prowling around, trying to find those he can kill, steal, and destroy. Now, why would you want to do something that we already have an enemy trying to do? That's like going to war, and when you get on the battlefield, they trying to kill you. And instead of you trying to destroy them, you turn the gun and shoot yourself. So we got to be real careful about that self-destructive attitude. Let's talk about it. Tuesday, Church Folk Day rolled around. And boy, the Republicans are setting us up real good for destruction. They have come up with a rule that bans abortion going further back, even to the embryonic stage. Life is considered life just at conception as far as they're concerned. And you can be killed if a person sees you about to abort and they feel like they want to save that life. They can actually kill you. So again, self-destruction, because when you kill that person, you're not going to necessarily get off with murder. You understand that, right? Boy, the enemy really knows how to get it done. Well, once they rolled around and we talked to our girlfriend Viv with her socially conscious segment, and whoa, does the enemy have it out for us when we have a woman who works in a motel. One of the customers came in to get a room, and within a couple of days she was shacked up, moved in, her and her son. Well, while she went to work, she left the baby in the room with said man, and because the baby would not stop crying, he ended up murdering the baby, beating the baby to death. And that's not the real problem. The real problem is when there are people who read this story. They do not hold mom accountable, But what they say is that if mom had other opportunities, if the economy wasn't so bad, if the world did not set us up to fail, however they put it, if she had better options, like a better place to live, more money, she would have made a better decision. And again, self-destruction at the hands of the enemy, because regardless of what our options are, there are always options better than leaving your brand new child or your baby or your child with a total stranger. It's bad enough that the two of you are already living with the total stranger. But for you to now set your sights on living with him and leaving your child with him, bad set of decisions. So yeah, that's how the enemy's setting us up, for people to help us to believe that our destructive behavior is okay. Well, let's move on to Freestyle Friday. And Carmelo Anthony, the teen from Texas, is in the news as they have set him up after he committed self-defense murder, as they call it. Yeah, there was a caption that said that. After he killed another student, because the student actually grabbed him, he is now facing a murder trial with 12 white jurors, not one black juror, on the jury. Now, it wouldn't have been any better had it been a white child on that, or a white person on, at that defense table, and it was a whole slew of black individuals, and they have been allowed to do this. So we are really, really, really facing a lot of hard times, and the only way we're going to get through this thing is to grab Jesus as our personal Savior. So that's how we spent our week last week. Well, today it is shaking the Monday morning blues all over again. And here we are together. Well, God has brought us safely through another week. Thank you so much. Giving God thanks for being here with you again. We had an amazing prayer night last night. We were asking God to heal us from, and you fill in a blank. And it was amazing. Giving God thanks for everybody who was on with us. Well, let's get this party started. Go ahead and get that healthy breakfast. Go ahead and tell somebody, anybody, everybody that it's due time with Pastor Steph is on. And whatever you do, don't go anywhere, because we will be right back.
The old version of yourself, a lifetime subscription. It's one of my favorite mantras. I say it to other people a lot. I say it to myself a lot. And here's why. So I was a TV journalist, a reporter, and then a news anchor for about 13 years. And in 2023, I decided to walk away and become a full-time content creator. One of the things that's been really fascinating to me since then is how we hold ourselves to this unspoken rule that we're not allowed to evolve, that to pivot is a betrayal to ourselves, to the people who invested in us, to the people who looked up to us. And I realized that both in the reaction that I would get from people when they found out that I left my career in news, but also from other people who are considering a pivot. And it's terrifying. Finances and logistics aside, which are all very valid, I think that fear comes because in our culture, our identities are so intertwined with our jobs. Like, to consider a pivot throws us into an identity crisis, because who are we if we don't have this job title or have this role or career anymore? From the outside in, you look indecisive, you look fickle, you look disingenuous, because were you really telling the truth then when you said you loved this job if you're now considering something else? People are always shocked to find out that overall, I loved my job. It was the best job I'd ever had. You don't have to hate your job or be forced out to want to pivot. It is enough to simply want to try something new. Give yourself permission to evolve.
good morning, and good morning again. Welcome back to It's Due Time with Pastor Steph, and we are shaking the Monday morning blues. Nice PSA, not something to give you that confidence. You know, I always encourage people as we get older, allow God to reinvent you. Figure out, what else you like to do, what else you can do, because after a while, people become resentful of the fact that they've gotten older and they haven't done anything. And, that I wanted to learn how to, ride a bike, or I wanted to learn how to fly a kite, or I wanted to learn how to get to the moon. And they haven't learned anything else. And they are very, really distressed about the fact that, hey, I can't, excuse me, I can't do this and I can't do that. Or people who become empty nesters and now the kids are no longer there. And they are now twisted because they have put all their energy and attention and everything into the children. And now that the children are old and grown and gone, now they're upset because they ain't got no grandkids. No, you don't want no grandkids if the children don't want no grandkids. Yeah, if they don't want children, do not pressure them. That's because they're trying to figure out what they're going to do in life. You have some people who go back and get their diploma, or their degree, and they're like seniors. Listen, let God reinvent you. You don't have to stay stuck in anything. She is so correct. And, sometimes I look over my life and I'm like, dang, I did that too. Dang, I worked there too. And that wasn't intentional necessarily. But I really give God thanks. Somebody recently asked me, how do you know so much? I was like, listen, I still don't know half the stuff I probably should know. But because I didn't mind hanging around people who knew more than I did. I didn't feel threatened. I didn't feel insecure. I picked up from where I was. I learned from others around me. I didn't mind. I wasn't fearful to challenge myself to learn something new. I wasn't afraid of, doing something new that I had never done before. As long as it was safe and it wasn't destructive, I did it. And I love this PSA because it really encourages you to stretch yourself. But again, you really need to see God as to the timing of this all. You can't just step out and do this thing, because sometimes you do the right things at the wrong time, and sometimes you do the wrong things at the right time. So you want to make sure you got that right, because you don't also want to spend years repairing or recovering from, things that you could have saved yourself from. So that's my little conversation for the PSA. Thank you, Shantice, for another great one. All right. If you're in the room, you must give me a shout out. Other than that, I don't know you're out there. And I want to be able to say good morning to each and every one of you if you have joined me. So we got to check it from our girl, Ketty. Hey, Ketty girl. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got Francis. Good morning, Francis. Thank you so much for joining us. We got our girl, Tamika, on this side of the room. Can't wait to get to talk to her this morning on the other side of that screen. Zeri, am I saying it right? Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Tamika loves the PSA. And we got we must say good morning to the ladies who hold it down. But before we do that, we've got my girl Kay on the line. Good morning, my daughter. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have Miss Grace checking in. Happy birthday, Miss Grace. Giving God thanks for another year of your life, allowing God to just be Him. And we are so grateful that he has kept you around for us. Amen. Thanking you for just hanging out with us each and every day. We can't say thank you enough. We have a Kitty says, yes, great PSA, something to think about. Well, let's make sure we say good morning to the ladies that keep us humming and running each and every day. Let's say good morning to our girl Shantice. Hey, Shantice. Let's say good morning to our girl Anika. Good morning, Anika. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, Miss Grace, you got some happy birthdays going on up in here. You got a happy birthday from Teddy. You've got a happy birthday from Anika. You've got a happy birthday from Tamika. Happy birthday, Miss Grace. You've got a happy birthday from Kay. You've got, oh my goodness, listen, look at all these shout outs that you got, Miss Grace. We got to check in from Adele. Hey, Adele. And Miss Grace, Adele is saying happy birthday to you too. Happy birthday, Miss Grace. So look at you. Look at you getting all those shout outs from the Due Time family. That's what I love. Oh, Shantice is throwing in her happy birthday, Miss Grace, as well. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. God is so gracious to us as he surrounds us with family on family on family. And I'm so happy to have this family in my life. All right, family. So I'm sitting here starving right now, okay? Starving. Oh, everybody, Miss Grace says you put a smile on my face. Amen. 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 All right, I'm starving, y'all. Oh, I'm so starving. And it's funny because this morning I have a health tip for high fiber breakfasts that will keep you full until lunchtime. All righty. Miss Grace, Vivian says good morning to you and happy birthday. Good morning, Viv. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, we loaded this morning. Y'all, my mouth is dry like crazy. Y'all gonna have to give me a second. I need to try to grab something to put on my tongue. Oh my goodness. I'm dying over here, y'all. Oh my goodness. Oh, I need water. Somebody send me a hose. Woo. All right. We're talking about those high fiber breakfasts that keep us full until lunchtime. All right. So to start off with, they say fiber is a key nutrient that is responsible for helping keeping us full longer. And that happens because it slows down the digestion in our stomach, which means that your food takes longer to process, okay? Your body takes longer to process the food, rather, all right? So, moving down the line, they say when you're choosing breakfast, your best bet would be to incorporate a high fiber diet because it helps you get rid of your gut issues as well. Yeah, it kind of keeps you flowing, if you know what I mean. And they are really, really, really encouraging you to make sure you keep that going so that you don't have other health issues regarding your stomach, okay? Fruit, number one. Fruit, number one. All right. Fruit, they say, is the easiest way to incorporate fiber into your breakfast. Berries. What else? Pears, apples, avocados, they say provide the highest amount of fiber per serving. And you can eat it, blend it into a smoothie, or you can eat it just like that. They say fresh is always preferred, Dried fruit is also a good source of fiber. So for those of us that like trail mix and things like that, yeah, with the dried apples and dried berries and things, yes, they say that's very good for you. Vegetables, cruciferous vegetables such as leafy greens and sweet potatoes lead the pack when it comes to fiber content. Now, most of us don't think of eating a salad in the morning, but hey, that smoothie is that leafy green, okay? So you can put the romaine lettuce, you can put the spinach into your smoothie. That avocado can go into your smoothie as well, all right? Listen, grab that sweet potato, throw it in the oven for about 40 minutes, maybe a little longer, and you have a nice sweet potato that you can, snack on. Listen, put those berries, mix it with a little avocado. Listen, put a little fruit. Oh, you got it. Whole grains. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean to eat quinoa first thing in the morning, but you can. You can make it into a porridge or like a little cereal, hot cereal. Oatmeal is a really good source. They say steel cut oats are really good as well. Okay. Try some whole grain bread. That'll definitely help you with your fiber. Eat a slice of toast. You never know how it will help to fill you up. So avocado toast is very popular now. Let me give you a little secret. I found a recipe about 4 or 5 months ago. Avocado with sweet potatoes on toast. Oh my goodness, it was delicious. Now think about it. They said eat whole grain bread. They say eat avocados. And they say eat sweet potatoes. Man. Okay. Nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds not only have fiber, but they have protein and healthy fats, and all of this will help to keep you full and energized. So get those almonds, pistachios, hazelnuts, walnuts, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds, nut butters, and go to town. Now let's do this again. You can have berries on your toast, whole grain toast, along with almond butter. Yo, excellent. Remember, chia seeds, chia pudding, overnight oats you can have first thing in the morning. There's your oatmeal and there are your chia seeds. And you can always put flax seeds in your food. Yes. You don't have to load it up, just a few. That helps your stomach, helps your gut health. So, man, this is great success in getting and keeping full until lunchtime. Legumes. Yes. We're talking about beans, lentils, those things that are heavy duty in the morning, but good for you. Eat a little soup, bean soup. You can eat lentil soup. Yeah. Hey, protein and fibers help keep you. Okay. So we got that oatmeal. Again, you can do a million things with that oatmeal. You can put your nuts and seeds. You can put your berries. You can put your fruit. You're loaded. Because they were talking about those things individually. Well, now let's compound that thing. And again, the overnight oats you can do. Make it the night before with your chia seeds, and you're fine for the next day. Or you wake up in the morning and you make that hot oatmeal. Also, I have really come to love baked oats, and you can do the same thing. Wake up in the morning, maybe warm it up a little bit, and go to town, because baked oats, you can put apples, cinnamon, pears, berries. Yeah, put a little bit of dark chocolate in there as well. Butter, nut butters, you can put inside that baked oatmeal. Yes, and when you wake up, you got a powerhouse of protein, fiber, and something that's going to hold you over. The smoothies, again, we talked about. In those smoothies, you've got the leafy greens, you've got your fruit, you've got your berries, you've got your avocados, you've got your nuts and seeds. Some people even put peanut butter or apple butter in their smoothie. So, and some people put oatmeal and, not oatmeal, peanut butter and nut butter in their oatmeal. Yeah, that's a little too much for me, but you could do it. Yogurt bowls. Yes, there you go. Get those bananas and the granola and the apples or the avocados in your yogurt bowl. Yes, doesn't sound all that appealing, but it is good and more good. Again, they're mentioning the avocado toast. All right. Egg dishes. You can put, get your egg, get your leafy greens. Yeah, you can do all of that stuff. Get your avocados and put it up in there. A breakfast taco. There you go. Avocados and nuts and berries. Yes, I've seen it. I may not eat it. I can, mix certain things around in my mouth, but it's very popular. Eggs, all that kind of good stuff. The beans. There you go with the beans. The grain bowls. So you've got your nuts, your berries, your fruit, your oatmeal in that grain bowl. You've got granola in go to town. Bran muffins definitely great for fiber and protein. Remember, there's that whole grain that we got going on. You can put your berries in it. You can put a little bit of avocado. Hey, mix it with a little sweet potato. You're going to really, really enjoy it. So chia pudding is on that list, as we talked about. Bran cereal is on that list, as we talked about. Or what's the other one that I love? Raisin bran. So, hey, listen, you got all of those things that you can grab for breakfast, okay? All right, let's see what the comments are saying. Tamika says, I'm sure oats is on the breakfast list. You better believe it, girl. You better believe it. Tamika says, I eat a pear almost every day. And she's applauding herself. All right. Okay. Shati says, I love eating yogurt with apples, blueberries, strawberries, and chocolate chips. That's the dark chocolate chips. I love eating sweet potatoes for breakfast, she says. And Serge says, good morning. He's checking in. Hey, Serge, thank you so much for joining us. And Miss Grace, you got another happy birthday from Serge. Man, you are filled with love this morning. Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, let's get to this news, y'all, because we got some stuff to talk about. Oh, my. We got some stuff to talk about. You're going to think it's Let's Talk About It Tuesday. I found some real interesting stuff. Oh, okay. Tamika says, yes, she loves all the stuff that Shanti says she loves. Eating those things for breakfast, the sweet potatoes for breakfast. All righty. Yo, wait, I gotta get this jingle going. 1877 Cars for Kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. We haven't seen that in a long time. Yeah, and it's funny because one day I happened to be looking at the TV and it popped up and I was like, where they been? Well, child, they've got some scandal going on behind the scenes. So pretty much they're asking, this has been out for quite some years. So they are asking for those of us who have cars to donate the cars to this particular company, who will then in turn fix up the cars and then donate them to any different agencies for children. Excuse me. And that's the premise of the commercial. So everybody's, KARS, cars for kids. They be jamming with the little kids with the little pink and black on, It's a nice jingle. Well, out in Cali specifically, or notably, they have a real problem with this commercial. So there is a man, Bruce P., who donated a 2001 Volvo XC. I don't know what that is, y'all. It's to Cars for Kids. Earlier in that year of 2001. So this just goes to show you how long this commercial been out there. And he said he just kept hearing KARS, Cars for Kids. Yeah. And he his heart said, donate this car. He said he kept hearing it over and over and over on the radio, on the TV. And he was really just at the point where he was like, you know what, I'm going to do a nice thing and I'm going to donate the cars. And he donated the car in California where he lives. And he assumed that because they were KARS, Cars for Kids, that they were going to donate the car to the kids. Well, y'all, he found out. Well, not only did he expect for them to donate the car to the kids, but he was also expecting for the car to be donated in California where he lives. Well, that's not quite what happened. So he said after doing some digging, he found that there were some hidden facts about the true use of the donations of the cars. He said that he found out that they were being donated to religious organizations in New York, New Jersey, and Israel. And he was upset because he also found out that the car that he donated was also one of the cars that could have been donated to teens. And in his opinion, teens ain't kids. He expected it to benefit people in California because that's where he gave it. And he said that a whole lot of stuff was going on that he was not aware of. Now, Cars for Kids programs, they say they just benefit a wide array of children and teenagers in California and beyond. And he took them to court. Child. So because of that, they froze the commercial. But when they went to court, the judge is allowing the commercials to keep going. All right. Because he said, listen, I think you need to take it off because they're misleading. The commercial features children, not teens. And when they say Cars for Kids, being that the kids are the ones singing and playing the guitars and drums and things, he felt that it was just a leading into believing that that's who the cars would be servicing. And they are not necessarily, even in the states, that they are funding these cars to go into Israel for older teens, and he was not feeling it. And the judge has said that there will be uninterrupted airing on as far as they were concerned, and they would enable the charity to continue to move as they have been doing, because they have not found that there was any violation to what was given on the commercial. So, here's the thing. You really you're really not believing that these cars are going to leave the country. That's the first thing. That's just an assumption that you make. I have always wanted to know where the cars were going, just in general. Just a passing thought in my head, like where the cars going anyway? When it came as cars for kids, are they donating them to the foster care system? And when the people have to drive these kids around, they don't have to drive their personal cars, but there would be cars given. And I see, here's the other thing. When you go to donate your car, I'm not sure as to what information they give you then either, because I've donated a car and all I've done is just, they picked up the car, they took it from here, and they gave me a receipt so I could actually file it on my taxes. I didn't ask any questions. I just assumed that it was going to where it was going. But homeboy did. And Serge is saying, it's for Israel people. It's not going to American people. Adele says, wow. Scammers. I'm surprised it lasted this long. Applaud this guy for his due diligence here. Let me tell you something. People on the other side of the fence, they ain't playing with their money. I don't care if they gave away 2 cents. They want to know where it's going. We ain't doing all that kind of research, y'all. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. We sure ain't. We are not. We are not. We are not. All right. Well, wait, what did Adele say? America doesn't care about their citizens. We just don't follow up. I wouldn't venture to say we don't care. We just don't follow up to ensure that what we're believing is actually what's happening. So, Serge says, but it's not cars for kids. Anything you donate goes to Israeli people in the country of Israel. I don't know what that means. Maybe you want to clarify that for me, Serge. I'm a little lost. I'm on the fence on that one. Adele says, for real, and sending it to Israeli got me over here spinning in my seat. Well, here's my thing. I'm just always wondering how you are donating to other countries and we over here are just like not eating, not surviving. That's always my thing. And I'm not discouraging anybody from donating to other countries, because other countries, as bad as we're doing, we are rich in comparison to them. But like I said, my thing is take care of home first. Then you can do whatever you want to do in other countries. But I'm really having a hard time when I see things like that. So that's just a Pastor Steph thing. All right. Here's another thing about taking care of home. So out in Atlanta, such a sad story. There was a grandma, 66 years old, and you see, did she die? I don't think she passed away. But in Atlanta, on what they call the MARTA, MARTA system, they had a grandma and a great-grandma, a retired daycare worker. She has to get around town on MARTA. That's our subway system. That's our MTA. And on her way home, she was sitting in a seat by herself, minding her business, when John Elijah Matthews came over, stood by her. He's 25 years old. She didn't know anything about him. She did not know him. And in the next few moments, he took out a pocket knife and slashed her throat. She did pass away. He then commenced to killing her by stabbing her 18 more times in the neck and the chest. And she was screaming. She was trying to get away. And the passengers on the train, they were all huddled up on the other side of the train. while he stood over her. He threw her on the floor, stood over her, and just waited there until the train stopped. Well, clearly somebody did call 911, because as soon as the train stopped, the police, the MARTA police, they arrested him, and unfortunately, yes, she did pass away. She was announced dead at the scene. Now, her daughter is she is especially upset, not just because this happened, but because she says that there should have been more police presence on the train, but they're so busy worrying about the FIFA Cup that they are not paying attention to their riders. So she's saying, listen, where were the cops? If this were during the FIFA Cup, because that's where it's going to be in Atlanta, that you would not, this would not have happened, because the police presence would have been, great. Now, here's the thing. Their argument is she wants to see a cop in every train car, and they're saying the budget doesn't allow for that. But they have increased police presence recently. That, of course, when you have your mother dying at such a heinous act, you ain't trying to hear budget, even if budget is logical. We know even here in New York, you're not going to be able to put a cop in each car. But what they said was they have increased it to a cop, not just on the platform, but actually on the train. So you do have one cop per train. And she's like, no, you need a cop in every car. And we have to be logical. That ain't happening in no city, unless the car is like 2 cars. The train is 2 cars. Then maybe we'll get that. But she's really, really comparing it to, as they're preparing for FIFA, it would not have happened during that time. Do we know that? We don't know. Would it be less likely to happen? Probably so. This is a horrific crime that took place again, y'all, during the daytime. This wasn't no overnight. This wasn't no late at night. They have put out some new trains. They have a new train system that they are preparing to launch. And you know what it probably is, because FIFA's coming through there. But with this, they say that they have enabled the view. Now, I don't know how many cars we have. How many trains, cars do we have, Serge? Is it 12? But out in Atlanta, I don't know how many cars they have. But what they say is they've made it supposedly able for the cop to be in one car, but be able to see straight through ahead or turn around and look behind them. I don't know if this is really doable. I don't know. But I need to, I'm interested. I think it's, I don't know why I'm thinking 12. I don't know where I heard that number, where I got that number from. I could be completely wrong, but I would love to know how many cars are in the New York City transit system cars. But, prayers up for this family, because this is a lot. This is a lot to endure. And, again, Sir says 8 to 10. Okay. So 8 to 10 cars. And I don't know if you could see straight through. Last I looked, I couldn't see straight through. So we've got, these stories today. We've got people jumping in the comment room. I'm missing part of my words here. Oh my goodness. All right. I'm gonna have to struggle here, y'all, because my iPad doesn't want to work. All right. Okay. All righty. Sir says America doesn't care about their people. They don't care about their people. And Shanti says, whoa. This is driving me crazy here. They didn't jump him while he was stabbing her. Where were the men? And that was one of the thoughts I had. We're not talking about one person approaching them, but y'all talking about, oh yeah, he had a knife. If 4 or 5 of you jumped on him, you would have been able to disarm him. And to think that y'all just all stood and, oh my God, you stood and watched her just get stabbed over and over and over and over again. Sir said that's a horrific thing to witness. Shanti said it's sad that incidents like this have to happen in order to get other things in order. Shanti contends that there is money. The police and other authority presence during these events are crazy. At the U.S. Open, they have everyone but SWAT out there. They need to stop. They have the budget. They have the budget, just not for the American people, Serge says. Adele says this is not the cops' problem. Sad to say, straight mental illness. Where was all the YNs when this was going on? Over-policing our neighborhoods is not the answer. Though, wow, so sad. God bless this woman. They're not doing that even if it was a car full of white people. Serge says, and this is the times we're living in, unfortunately. So sad, so sad. Yeah, this here, I don't. Okay, so let me help y'all understand something. We say, hey, there's all this police presence when there's a U.S. Open. There's all this police presence when there's a FIFA Cup. There's all this police presence now that the finals are here in New York City. They budget this in. So when we have the U.S. Open and the tickets are sky high, that's why the tickets are sky high. What do you think is infused in that? Everything the city needs to provide, they have to pay. So when they go out for bids, so the FIFA Cup is coming to America. Which city and state is going to host the FIFA Cup? They have to put that budget out there. They have to say, this is what we're doing. This is what we're going to do. They have to come up with that budget, and the city helps them to come up with the budget. It's not just the entity. It's the city and the state that helps them come up with that budget to include the increased police presence, to include all the barricades. That costs money. To increase all of this, you need the money, and that's where the money comes from. Now, am I saying could they do that? They could not do better on a regular basis? Absolutely not. That is definitely not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, when we think about it, that's what we're really comparing it to. So, let's see. Adele says this is why you have to keep your head on a swivel, elders too. It's very true. It's very true. The budget, Shanti says this is in and also proves that there is money for at least a slight increase in police presence on a regular basis. Yes, that's what I agree. I'm not saying they don't have any money to increase the need. That's the need. The need of the city is to have more police. Y'all need to come up with that money. Adele says this means these men ain't men no more, because I would have been compelled to help, and all he had was a knife. You got to be kidding me. Men ain't men these days no more. It's true, because when I saw the thing that said they huddled on the other side of the car, I'm like, for a man with a knife, all they had to do was tackle him and he would have been disarmed. All they had to do was tackle him. He didn't have a gun. All they had to do was tackle him. And y'all literally watched someone get murdered. Watched her get murdered. All right. I got one more thing. We are straight into the 8 o'clock hour. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I thought cutting down on the news would get us some time. All right, I got an update to Friday's story, to a story we've been following. We've been following the Carmelo Anthony story, the two teens that were they were doing some track competition, and Carmelo, the black student, sat in the tent or on the side of the other team's bench, if you will, and the team from the white team said to him, "Yo, get up out of here. This is not for you." And Carmela said, "If you touch me, you're gonna feel sorry, or you're gonna regret it," something to that effect. And Austin Metcalf actually did physically put his hands on Carmelo, who took out a knife and stabbed Austin and killed him. So he is on trial for murder. As we talked about Friday, they finally got down to the final jury 12 and 6 alternates, and everybody's white. So they actually started the trial last week, and the prosecutors rejected the claims of self-defense and emphasizing that Carmelo just stabbed. It was murder. It was not, this self-defense that he was trying. They had 2 of the coaches there. And very interestingly, they told interesting accounts. So they had, I want to pull up the coaches. So you had one coach, Robert Starr, where he was Memorial High School coach, where Austin Metcalf was a student. And he explained to the jurors that a tent at a track composition is like your spot, and it is like a bench. So when you see the Knicks game, excuse me, one side is for the Spurs, and only Spurs sit there. You do not find Knicks sitting where the Spurs are, and where the Knicks sit, the Spurs are, do not sit there. And he was describing that was probably the angle that Austin came from, because, that's the way he approached him: get out of our tent. So he tells the jury that when he heard the commotion, he ran over and he saw Austin on the ground. His face was purple. He had a big hole in his chest, and he was getting really emotional in the chair. There was another coach who testified, Vincent Hooper, said that he put his arm around Carmelo and asked him what happened. So clearly, Vincent Hooper is from Carmelo's school. And he said that Carmelo told him that he stabbed someone because he put his hands on him. And that has always been Carmelo's story. I was sitting over there. He told me to get up. I told him, don't mess with me. This is not what you want today. And I guess Austin, his brother was actually there as well. The 2 brothers, they both run track. And Austin did put his hands on him, and Carmelo responded with the knife. Now, they have taken comments from the parents, and Austin's parents, his father, actually is very upset, because he said this is not a race thing. It's not a political thing. He says, listen, as far as he's concerned, This is a human being thing. This person made a bad choice and it affected both families, his family and my family. And I don't know if you remember, but they had to take up a collection because they had to move Carmelo out of that neighborhood because all of the white people were actually threatening their family. And they didn't say that Austin's family was a part of that, but he had to move. I remember that. So, again, this trial is underway, and I don't know, y'all. I don't know how this is going to work out. Last Friday when I was talking to the men, we don't feel very hopeful that Carmelo's going to be the one who kind of reigns here, that he is not going to be found not guilty. Oh boy. All right, let's see what's going on in this comment room, since my iPad is acting real stupid today. All righty. Adele says sounds like 911. Now I don't know what that means. Are we talking about this story? We talking about the other story? Which one? Because I don't know when this came in. So help me out, Adele. Thank you. All right, let's get the ladies on the line. I don't see, well, not the ladies, but let's get our girl Tamika on the line and let's see what she's got to say about some of these stories. Good morning.
Monday morning. Good morning. How are you today?
I am well, thank you. How are you?
I am doing just well. I was able to get real good sleep yesterday.
All right, now I'm all for good sleep. You just need to pass some of that over here so we can all get some good sleep. Thank you for joining us this morning. So we got that 1877 Cars for Kids, KARS Cars for Kids, who's in court or just came out of court. You heard the story where they feel that, well, this man felt Mr. What's his name, Bruce, felt that he donated his 2001 Volvo XC, only to find out that this car may not, because he didn't know about his car in particular, by the way, but he found out that cars were being donated outside of California. They weren't all donated to children, and that some of them were donated to New York, some to New Jersey, and some to teens in Israeli. Now, I'm asking personally, would that matter to you? And do you feel as though we're being duped when we see this commercial? He said because the commercial led him to believe it was only children and it would be in California.
Okay, so when I heard it and you said, he went far above and beyond, I guess, what the average person would do. Because my thing is, I'm donating my car. So that means it's no longer mine, it's yours. So I wouldn't, 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't research it because, okay, fine, but then for him to do the research and find out that it's not being done in his state. Okay, so I personally was like, okay, why does it matter? Still handling children. Oh, it's not handling children. Okay, now we have a problem. That's the first problem. Then you say it's not even taking care of children here in the United States. You're going all the way to Israel. And my thing is, there's nothing to advertise that says that you're going out of the country. It's cars for kids, and it's not, so the cars are not for kids and they're not for kids in the United States. Why would you not want to handle home first? At that point, yeah, I'm kind of coming unglued because it's like, it's not for kids and it's not in the United States. Yeah, I would come unglued at that point too. Because to me, that's false advertising.
Okay. All right. Pastor KL, you're sideways before I put the camera on you. and you're headless. Raise your camera. I don't want to put the camera on Pastor Kale and he's looking crazy. I definitely understand what you're saying, Tamika. Nope, still headless, Pastor Kale. Pastor KL is, I think I want to ship Pastor KL off to Israeli. What you think, Tamika?
First it was his voice, and now it's his picture. Oh boy!
I think I want to ship him off, and anybody could take him. Anybody. I'm not specifying who has him and who doesn't.
He'll be back.
All righty. Good morning, Pastor KL.
Good morning, ladies. I don't appreciate all these jokes early on a Monday morning.
We are shaking the Monday morning blues, my brother.
I'm
You've heard this Cars for Kids jingle. I know you've heard it before. Everybody draws their own conclusion based on what they see. Here's the interesting part. He didn't say that what paperwork they gave him stated that they would do X, Y, and Z. He's strictly going on his perception of what would happen with his 2001 Volvo when he donated it to Cars for Kids. What say you, Pastor KL?
Yeah, I think he just made the assumption. You know, I heard you say that the light-skinned folks are going to always investigate. We're not going to investigate. You know, I'm like you as well. I donated a car. I didn't donate a car because I was being so generous and I was happy for the people who was getting it. I was tired of getting tickets on this car. So I needed to go away. And at this point, I don't care who got it. I was tired of the tickets. I couldn't move it. I couldn't, New York, there's alternate parking. I was tired of getting up, trying to find a spot on the other side. So I said, come on and get it. Listen, Pookie don't care who get it. I'm tired of the tickets. You know what I mean? Grandpa Pigeon, he ain't got nothing but time. So he gonna try to figure out what child got this car. Now,
absolutely.
I don't know whether he was mad about the teens. I didn't know what child was gonna be able to drive this car with no license. You understand what I'm saying? It had to be a teen. I mean, from what I'm looking at now, I do understand about being in another country, but you mad that a child didn't get the car? Who driving it? Baby kids and Pampers? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Well, I have to be honest and I said I was not going to voice my personal opinion until after you all did. So I'm donating a car. He donated his 2001 Volvo. Now, I'll be honest. Not many of us will donate a car we can use. And we can use that car. We're going to use that car till the wheels come off. We are not going to give away a car that we could have given to our grandson, the next door neighbor. We could have left at the dealer, the mechanic shop. We are not generally giving away a car that we have any use for. So whether it was Pastor KL who wanted to get rid of the tickets, whether it was me who had it in my backyard and I was like, I'm tired of looking at this car. It ain't going away, ain't doing nothing, ain't moving. It just sat through the rain, the sleet, the hail, and the snow. I don't care. Please come take this thing, and you ain't charging me to take it away. I ain't got to pay for that. It's out of my sight. Again, it's in my backyard, so I'm not getting any tickets for it. I don't care. I don't care who you give it to. Like I said earlier, I don't know if they're giving it to like a foster care system, an agency. I don't know what their plans are when they say Cars for Kids. I don't know. I'm assuming that they're not giving it to an individual person, but more to a community that could use it to help the kids. So I wouldn't have cared whether they were giving it to a child, for children or not. To be honest, it didn't matter to me. If you could donate it and it could be used for something worthy, amen. But I'm not buying it. I'm not selling it. So, again, I got a receipt. I can follow with my taxes. And I probably didn't even bother, to be honest with you. I just don't even bother with all of that stuff. And it was gone. As far as it going over to Israeli, I don't care. I don't care. I couldn't use the car. Now, if I gave away my brand new BMW, now I'm caring whether it goes to the kids, whether it goes to California, whether it goes to New Jersey or Connecticut or New York, and whether it goes to Israeli. As long as I don't have it anymore, I'm gonna be honest, it just didn't matter to me because I just wasn't using it for anything else. So it wouldn't be a big deal to me personally. But I will not dismiss that it was concerning to him. It just would not be concerning to me. Because again, I'm not giving away anything that's worth anything to me. So, maybe it was worth something to him and he just wanted them to stand by what they claimed they were going to do. Plain and simple as that. All righty. We have this whole issue in Atlanta on the MARTA train system, where grandma, 66, great grandma, was stabbed to death right on the train with a group of people huddled over in the corner. And he stabbed her to death right there on the train. And daughter is in an uproar about the fact that she feels that there should be more police presence, a cop in each car. They would do it if Pfeiffer was here. They're coming, and in a matter of a week or so, they'll be here. Lady Tamika, what are we talking about here?
I used to live in Atlanta, and even when I was there was not, from what I can see, a police presence. We rode the subways, and we came back and forth. Their cars are pretty much like ours, except for in certain train cars with New York, you can go from one car to the next. You don't have the liberty to do that with MARTA subways. Once you're in there, you're in there. So whatever's happening in that car, that's it. The sad part about it is that, everybody was rushed over or huddled in a corner. So nobody, as he's stabbing, you couldn't grab a foot. That means if his arm is stabbing her, one of the legs is available. Somebody could, we could have teamed up, some kind of thing, something. Nobody reacted. And this man stabbed her, was it 18 times? Was it 18? Yeah. That's a lot of stabbing, and somewhere in there you could have, together as a group, somebody could have done somebody hit him in the head, somebody hit him in the leg, somebody, something, and the fact that this, grandmother had to die. We already know, just, as a city like New York, it's impossible to put a police presence in every car. Even in New York now, we have, police presence on the subways and, on the actual track. And then you may have a police officer 2 or 3 cars down. Now, I do understand with MARTA, for the most part, the cars you can look through. But if I'm in car number 1 and something's happening in car number 3, again, I can't get to car 3 until it stops. So you still have a problem. My heart goes out to the fact that, this grandmother or great grandmother had to pass away and nobody responded.
Yeah. How many cars are in a train on a MARTA system?
It's usually about 8, no more than 8. Whereas New York has 8 to 10, it stops at 8.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So it was a total of 19 times. They are counting the slashing of her throat 1, and then 18 additional times. So a total of 19 times they actually, saw that he had stabbed her. Pastor KL, they're talking about increase the presence to at least the daughter to one cop per car. And in your opinion, we've had statements that it's doable, they can afford it. What's your thought?
First of all, it was tragic. That's first of all. Second of all, if somebody would have just gotten up, it would have brought awareness to him that someone may be trying to stop this thing. So he would not have been stabbing her as many times because he didn't know what the other person, oncoming person, was going to do. So that could have stopped a lot of that stuff. As far as a police presence in every car, I don't think that's feasible. First of all, if we had a MARTA or MTA in Alabama, we don't have enough police to do that.
Okay.
You know
overall,
what I mean?
in other words, overall.
Yeah, because you're talking about a cop in every car on every train.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not just that one particular train. It's every car in every train. Think about how many, you got the C, the D, the 2, the 5, the 3. How many trains you got? And then times that, if there's 10 cars, 10 times whatever amount of trains you have, that's going on all day. And then you have to protect the city at large.
Right.
That's a lot. That's a lot to actually.
Right. And that's why I said it's just not logical, because you can't deplete all of your funding into this one thing. I believe, I'm going to tell you something else. If, in my opinion, if you were to put a cop on every car, you still couldn't stop the crime. You still couldn't stop crime.
Especially rush hour.
Right. Even if you slow down the crime on the train, again, like you said, Pastor Kale, so now we're going to put all of our police on the train. Now, where does that leave police throughout the rest of the city? Excuse me. So now you have lessened the presence elsewhere to increase. Now, forget where. So even if you took them off the cars and put them in Central Park, so Central Park is now with police coverage, but Van Cortlandt Park has no one. So this unfortunately, I don't think they'll ever be able to really lower crime the way we would love to see crime lowered. And I'm not talking about any particular type of crime, but we ain't gonna see the results that we really would love to be able to see. And again, such a tragic occurrence. Shanti says, stop allowing homeless people to ride the trains. So if you stop the homeless people from riding the trains, then what happens? You still got other people that's riding the trains committing crimes. That's not going to, get rid of. It may get rid of 5%, and then you have the other. So now you got cops watching for the kids who are subway surfing. You see how you just go from one extreme to the next. We're not going to be able to get rid of crime the way we'd like to see it, and we definitely don't want to see stories like this. Shanti says less people committing crimes. Less people committing crimes on the train. So this is a catch-22 situation, and just do what's best. And
you know what, Pastor Steph, you got to look at it from this side. Okay, yeah, so that was a tragic situation, but is the train system crime? Is that the majority, or is the streets the majority? You know what I mean? So now you put all these folks in the train where you might have, a few cases. You know what I mean? So you killed a few cases. But now you enhance what's going on the street. Is it worth it?
Right.
Well, not even
That's
that.
what
You got all the cops on the train. What about the platforms? Right there. We've seen many instances where situations happen, and you say, but there was a cop around the corner.
Right. And that's why I said we're never going to, see crime as low as we'd like to see it, because you have to take all of these things into consideration. Shashanti says, take the homeless people off the trains. Okay, so you put them elsewhere. So if they are going to commit crimes, guess what? They're going to commit a crime no matter where they are. They're just committing a crime on the train because that's where they are. But if someone's determined to commit a crime, they're going to commit a crime. So you're not really going to get to the point where we really like to see. So really good responses. All right, y'all. Let's get to this Carmelo Anthony story, not the basketball player. Oh, we're going to be following this story. I don't think we're going to be following this trial for long. I don't think it's going to be a long trial. But you were both, were on to hear Friday's conversation about the 12 all-white jury, in addition to the 6 alternates. And now we have the trial has started. Prosecution instantaneously, they've jumped in with, no, this was not a self-defense issue. It is a plain outright stabbing issue. You've got the coaches who have testified and told what they saw. Go back when we first launched this story, when it first took place. The brother to the one who was killed, he said that his brother struck Carmelo or grabbed him. His brother admitted that and said he was surprised to see the response of the knife, but that Carmelo had warned his brother, because he was there, don't put your hands on me. So let's go back a little bit in our comments. Serge said, my thing is, if I warn you not to do something and you do, the consequence is not my fault. All right, Tamika. We've got the trial beginning, and these are the things that were said.
Now, we already know for a fact that, they're trying their best to alleviate the fact that these two individuals are different races. And I think that is important, regardless of the fact that it's a sports event. But then I also look at the fact that you were at a sports event and you had a knife. Why was that knife even there to begin with? You're at a sports event, and, if you hit me and I'm telling you, leave me alone, I'm on that side. People don't fight with fists anymore. We have seen many times now, it's either, if it's not a knife, it's a gun, and I'm taking you out. And the sad part about it is that he did have a knife and he took this man's life. And we already see it. The fact that we have all of these jurors that don't look, not even one looks like me. I think that's 100% sad, and my heart goes out to him and his family.
All righty. Pastor KL, you've got the dad who says, listen, I'm mad that y'all are making this about race. It's not about race. It's about human beings. And one person made a decision. And
which dad is saying that? The light-skinned dad?
Yes, the light-skinned dad.
Okay.
this young person made a move that will forever affect both families.
I think, first of all, clearly it's about race. Clearly it's about race. The brother himself uh, knew about the bullying. The brother himself heard Carmelo say, "Listen, don't touch me, don't hit me." The brother himself said that my brother hit first. Now, so while it is self-defense, the sad thing about it is that because he's been bullied so much, he was prepared this time. So when you're prepared, that's premeditated, because in your mind, you knew what you were going to do if this man hit me. So it gets kind of really, really touch and go, because yeah, you hit me. I'm protecting myself, but did I have to kill you? I had to stab you in the leg and protect myself. So in your mind, your rage from all this bullying, from all this stuff I had to go through. Yeah, now I'm tired. Listen, when the pipe burst, it bursts. You need stuff to put it back together. If you put too much water in a pipe and it's going to bust. And wherever the water goes, that's where it goes.
And Pastor Steph, I wanted to mention something as well. A lot of times what we don't realize, they can put a spin on. And I'll give you a prime example. I am a runner. A lot of people on this broadcast that hear me, a lot of times when I get off of this broadcast, I get up and I run in the neighborhood. I carry some things to protect myself. Have I ever been assaulted? No. Has anyone ever done anything specifically to me? No. However, as a female runner by myself, it is just a precaution for myself. Now, I had an instance where I went to the airport and I forgot that it was in my bag. It's something that I carry on a regular. And I was placed in a facility. And when I got ready to go to court, they specifically said, it was something that, didn't need to go to court. However, I was also cautioned prior to stating that just because I had it, they could put me in court and the spin would be, well, why did you have it? And I'm like, well, to defend myself. Has anybody done anything to you? No. But their spin would have been, the mentality that I had would be that I'm out there trying to perpetrate an incident, which, as we can see, is not the case. It's precautionary. But as the prosecuting attorney, they can automatically spin it that way.
Yeah. Because I'm getting ready to throw out something, and it's interesting that you should say that. We got a check-in from Miss Herlima. Good morning, Miss Herlima. Thank you so much for joining us. So, I am the prosecutor. Here's a question that I'm asking, because it's interesting that the coach from Austin's school mentioned something, because this is something that I thought a while ago and he clarified it for me. So like I said to you all, they say that for track, the tents are designated for that particular team. And it's equivalent to the bench. So that's why earlier I gave the example of the Knicks have their bench. You only see the Knicks there. The Spurs have their bench. You only see the Spurs there. So here's the first question that I need to ask. Why are you sitting in the tent that doesn't belong to your team? What was the purpose? You were not sitting in a generic space. You were sitting in the tent that was designated for that team. You had your own team's tent. Not only were you purposely sitting in the tent that didn't belong to your team, you were also armed with a knife. So that says to the average mind, which kind of goes to what you were saying, how they could put that spin on it. Well, guess what? Is it really a spin, Tamika? If you follow what I'm saying, if he only had the knife and he was sitting on in his team's tent, that would be what you just described. But you were purposely set. They didn't say the seats ran out. They didn't say that your team's tent was damaged. You were the only team member from the opposite side sitting in that tent, underneath that tent. And you knew the rules. You know the rules. You know the rules. The Knicks, you don't see no black and orange, no orange and blue. Over in the Spurs section, you don't see the black and white. Over in the blue and orange section, you just don't. You know the rules. So now you put yourself in a very, very bad position when they can ask you, why were you sitting over there intentionally when you know the rules and you were armed with a knife? That says you're ready for it. There's no, in my opinion, there's no other way that I would be thinking of this. Now, if he sat under the tent, there was no knife, they threatened him or put their hands on him and they got to fighting, fist fighting, whole different angle. Yep. Because you're defending yourself at that point. There's no weapon, there's no nothing. Or if you picked up a book bag that was sitting there and hit him with it. But when you deliberately, I don't know. Tell me about that angle, Tamika.
No, I can clearly see that. It's one thing. Like you said, you're talking about to anybody who has ever been to any sports game. I don't care what it is. You know how it is. I have gone to a game and I'm sitting in the arena. And I look to my left and I look to my right and I look at my t-shirt and it looks different from your t-shirt. There's automatic animosity there. I don't know you personally, but all of a sudden you hate me just because of the colors that I'm wearing. Now we're talking about teammates. I'm going to sit as a Knicks fan. As a Knicks player, I'm going to go sit on the Spurs side. You automatically know that that's wrong. It's almost as if there's this line. Don't you cross over here. You have no reason to be there. And so for him to actually say, get out. You're not supposed to be here. And then my thing is, even if you were bullied 1,000,000 times, for you to go over there with a knife, you might have been like, I told you. Now I'm going to take it a step further by going on your side and sitting there and waiting. Waiting with my weapon.
That's the perception.
Waiting with my weapon. Yeah.
That's the perception.
Definitely.
And that's the perception.
Absolutely.
That's the perception. Pastor KL, what say you? Can they throw that out as a possibility? The prosecutors can strengthen their argument by throwing that out. Or is it bogus?
It's definitely bogus. Like I said earlier.
Pastor KL, we can't hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, all this, like I said before, it's premeditated. And he did that to agitate them. He wanted them to do something. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't going to go in there and start it, but he wanted them to do something, so he agitated them. It's almost like, since we're bringing up the Knicks and the Spurs, I'm gonna go to the Spurs side because they got a better seat in the front. So I'm gonna sit down there with my blue and gold just to agitate you. Now today I'm playing Rosa Parks. I know I shouldn't be over here, but I'm gonna sit over here just to agitate you and to see the game a little better, and to say go Knicks in the midst of the Spurs. That's what he did. He sat there in the midst of the Spurs yelling, "Go Knicks." And then as the Spur member got frustrated with him, he got up and said, "Listen, you really don't want to touch me. I got something for you." No, that was it. It was agitation.
Yep. We're saying good morning to GP Management. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're talking about the Carmelo Anthony track star out in Texas. You know, it's just almost like a dare. That's the way it comes across. Because here's the prosecutor. As a prosecutor, here's my next question. When he told you to get up out of his tent, why didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Why you didn't get up? It didn't belong to you. That's not your team. It's different if you were on that team and y'all had some internal tension based on race. That wasn't your team space. So when he said, "Yo, get up," why do we have this mentality? Y'all not gonna tell me what to do. Yo, you wrong. You in the wrong. You way wrong. You off. And now you set yourself up for this. And see, I've said this before on this broadcast about how, you know, we set ourselves up to run head to head with the police. We already know that there are cops out here that you don't have to be doing anything. And they'll approach you incorrectly, disrespectfully, the whole 9 yards. But my thing is, stay away from things that would draw them to you. If you know they walking up on you for no reason, why would I invite you to come up on me? And that's my theory here. Why? So as a prosecutor, those are the questions. This is why he could be nailed on no self-defense. This ain't a self-defense thing. How do you think this is going to turn out? And okay, so GP Management says, I agree. So Tamika, how do you think this is going to land? Is this good for him? And we're going to stay away from the fact that this is an all-white jury, because the three of us are not all white. And here we are questioning certain things. How do you think this could possibly end up for him, just based on the real information we have in front of us now?
It definitely looks like he was waiting for the jump off. You know, you being in the wrong place automatically puts you in that position. And then, you know, you didn't just get there with your uniform. Who comes to a game with a gun? I mean, with a knife, you know, regardless of how you try to spin that, the fact that you were sitting over there and you waited, it kind of seems like, you know, somebody's been bothering me. I wait till they're in a position, let's just say outside of a building where there's a camera, and I keep doing things to them, and I happen to be in a position, I yell and scream and holler in their face right in front of the camera. What is that? Okay, fine, you hit me, but I started the whole thing. You know, the fact that he went over there with a knife, yeah, it looks like he was just waiting for the right moment. Me being there by itself was going to cause an issue. And the fact that you were the one that came towards me after you being the one that bullied me, yeah, it definitely looks suspect for real.
Okay. Pastor KL, how do you think this is going to turn out based on just this little piece right here? Because we're the untrained individuals with this question. A trained individual, they smashing this one.
Well, the first question I would have was, are you gonna eat your cornbread? Because he knows it there.
Oh my goodness gracious! Oh my goodness!
But let me say this. Because we keep on saying knife. Now, you know, in my mind, it was premeditated. But you can't go on it just because he had a knife. You know, I hear Tamika say, "Who brings knife to a game?" You know, females have mace on their keychain? Who brings mace to a game? It's just part of their attire. Sometimes people just carry mace. They carry knives. Listen, Alabama's an open state, so sometimes I'm walking in the supermarket with my gun on my hip. So you would say, who's bringing a gun to a supermarket? It just happens. But because of the variables, it looks a lot worse for him to bring a knife to a game. But it happens.
Okay, so I'm going to dispute that. I'm sorry, because I've been to many events, especially sporting events. I've been to, museums, concerts, those type of things. Those things are restricted. If it's on your keychain, they will take your keychain from you. They will take that item from you. Maybe it's just in New York, but I know for a fact that you can't be walking around with those type of things in certain areas, in certain arenas.
No, it's not just in New York. I've left the state to go to a concert, and we have to have clear bags.
Absolutely.
They want to see everything that's in that bag without having to take your little flashlight and go through the bags, because like you said, there were things that are just they're not allowed. So no, it's not just New York. It's not just New York. Oh, I love my DEW Time crew. Always a good conversation. Pastor K, are you preparing to say something before the next phase?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution into today's conversation, and we pray you have a blessed day.
Have a blessed day.
I wish we could go on. All right, y'all. It's the top of the hour on a Monday morning, and y'all know what I mean when I say top of the hour. We got the switch with Shantice. Let's say good morning to Shantice.
Good morning.
Good morning, Shantice. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm well, thank you. What you got for us today?
Okay, today we have the switch with Shantice, where we make the switch from the street to our godly seat, and we are up to switch tip 253, which is watch how you position yourself. And actually listening to the conversation with Pastor Steph and the DEW Time crew, it really jolted this thought into my mind, into my head, as far as how we are positioning ourselves. So when we're talking about positioning ourselves, we're not just talking about physically positioning, mainly talking about our mental positioning, our emotional positioning. What is it that we're doing to set ourselves up for success? Do I care to set myself up for success? Or am I okay with going down this rabbit hole in the name of I'ma just freelance and do what I think I need to be doing? So when we're talking about positioning yourself, right? Setting up your lifestyle or your mindset so that you are capable of handling challenges, or you're capable of capitalizing on unexpected situations, right? Just got finished talking about one situation in particular. Setting yourself up, positioning yourself, is intentionally putting yourself in the right environment, in the right relationships, in the right situations, and adopting the right attitude to thrive. So watch how you position yourself. If you're not in the habit, especially as an adult meaning your age, if you're not in the habit of asking yourself questions, analyzing your decisions, evaluating your life choices, and asking, am I in the right predicaments? Do I put myself in the right environment? Do I put myself in the right relationships? Do I put myself in the right situations? One of the things that I started saying a few years ago is I'm gonna stop setting myself up for attitudes, because I started noticing that certain decisions I was making daily, certain decisions I was making for my life overall, was helping me to set myself up for headaches, to be annoyed, to be upset. So one thing in particular, people always ask me, well, why don't you go anywhere? You're always home. And I'll say, okay, you prove that you don't really know me. Because for those who really know, I was never home before, ever. Never, ever. Now I'm going to the complete opposite end, and I never want to leave the house. And I keep telling people, ain't nothing going on outside but people committing crimes and spreading germs. I ain't got no time to be outside. It's just too much going on. And then why am I going to set myself up to be annoyed? Right now, I do not own a vehicle. I do not take the subway. So if I got to take 18 buses, a skateboard, and a camel, that's how I'm getting there. I ain't getting on nobody's subway. But even the bus, annoying, especially certain bus routes. So when I think about leaving the house, these are the questions I have to ask myself. Am I ready for said environment? Am I ready to be in said situations? Because if I don't feel like arguing today, I'm not going to leave my house knowing I have to get on the bus. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not. Why? I'm not for it today. I'm not with it today. Maybe tomorrow I'll have the energy and I'll be with somebody bumping me and me looking at them, crazy, or me not looking at them the first 18 times they bump me and don't say sorry. Now the 19th time I'm with it. Maybe tomorrow, but today I'm just not with it. How am I willing to position myself? So because I know that today may be the day at any given moment, because I worked a lot today, so I don't feel like a back and forth with anyone, or if I make a mistake and accidentally bump you, I don't feel like having to sit here and feel like I gotta apologize to you 19 times, or you might pull a knife out on me. I just don't have the energy today. Am I putting myself in the proper situations? Am I putting myself in the proper environment to have a positive attitude and to thrive? Unfortunately, nowadays, we have to consider these questions in every aspect of life, okay? When we're talking about and thinking about watching how you properly position yourself in life, you need to be thinking about wisdom. You have knowledge, you have discernment, you have wisdom. Knowledge is the information that you know. Everybody can have knowledge. Everybody can pick up a book. Hopefully you know how to read. If you don't know how to read, hopefully you want to learn how to read, okay? Hopefully you want to learn how to read and comprehend while you're reading, okay? And I'm saying that for a reason, because I know a lot of adults who are okay with not knowing how to read, and because of that, not everybody come up with their own definition for words, okay? Then you have discernment. Discernment is being able to determine which knowledge is true, which knowledge is false, where the knowledge comes from. Discernment has everything to do with determination. Am I able to decipher where this is coming from? Is this right or wrong? That's discernment. Wisdom is knowing how to apply that knowledge and that discernment in my everyday life. So having knowledge, discernment, and wisdom is very important. When I'm thinking about how I'm positioning myself, I need to make sure that I'm focusing on the rewards of wisdom, which is where these two verses fall in the Bible. Proverbs 3 verses 5-6 in the Amplified Version reads, "Trust in and rely confidently on the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own insight or understanding. In all your ways, know and acknowledge and recognize him, and he will make your path straight and smooth, removing obstacles that block your way." So how can we kind of correlate this to something else to get a more thorough breakdown and understanding, even if we reference the last story that Pastor Steph brought up in regards to Carmelo Anthony? She asked a question and I was asking the same question. I'm like, this is how we set ourselves up. We don't position ourselves correctly. Why were you sitting over there, sir? Why? You did not position yourself for success. You did not position yourself to thrive. You did not position yourself to have a good attitude. So here's what could have possibly happened. He's been intimidated, or they've attempted to intimidate him in the past and or bullied him in the past. And he said, you know what, today's the day. Today's the day where no, they didn't have anybody saying, because that's actually one thing I used to hate when I used to work for other people, especially in retail. I would be leaning on something, or they'd be like, get off my bench. I'm sorry, your paycheck bought this bench? No, it did not. Be quiet. Hush. Just because you're the manager don't mean this is your bench. At the same time, I still had to respect the fact that you're my superior. And you know what I had to do? I had to position myself to now work for myself. Because see, all this little petty stuff here, you say those things to make yourself feel better. So what I had to do, I had to learn to shut up analyze where those statements were really, and questions were really coming from, and now position myself to not have to be asked that question. So now that I work with Jesus, if he say, get off my couch, this is actually his couch. You know what? I'm gonna get up because I ain't messing with you. This is yours. Okay. You can say those things to me. You can ask me those questions, Jesus, but man cannot ask me that, because unless I'm working directly for, the owner, and the owner of this establishment or business or organization or whatever is asking me something, don't come up to me asking me certain things to make yourself feel better, because you don't own this. But again, you shut up, you let God bless you with that discernment, and the wisdom says, I'm going to apply the knowledge that I have. Something's wrong with you. So let me apply that I know that something's wrong with you. And because I may need my check this week, and my sanity this week, and my clean record this week, I'm going to be quiet. Unfortunately, he did not set himself up. So he relied on his own insight and his own understanding, which had him sit over there, which then helped for the ignorance to continue, unfortunately. Okay. Ephesians 6 verse 13, reading this in the Message version, keep us safe from ourselves. Let me reread that part. This is the beginning of the verse. Keep us safe from ourselves and the devil. You're in charge, meaning God and Jesus. You're in charge. You can do anything you want. You're ablaze in beauty. Yes, yes, yes. Positioning myself is also understanding the position that I have. Where am I in life? Well, for one, I'm never going to be above God and Jesus. If I work for myself and I have any seat of authority, whether it's for myself or in someone else's brand, business, organization, God has given me that position and that seat. God saved me, and I've been saying this to people for a long while now. Before we can contend with the devil, we have to face ourselves. We have to face our flesh. When God wakes us up in the morning, we have to tell our flesh who we're going to choose. I'm either going to choose you, or I'm going to choose God today. Before we have to contend with what the enemy is going to introduce to us, tempt us with, try to get us to do, try to prevent us from doing all of that, we have to face ourselves. So we have to make sure we're making the conscious decision of making the switch from setting ourselves up to have headaches, setting ourselves up to be in predicaments that we really not about that life. Because see, had he really thought this thing through, nobody wants to have to sit and now their fate, their life is literally in the hands of spiteful, angry, illogical people. And I'm not just talking about jury, I'm talking about people in general. Because when we read this same Bible, God advises us, those of us who are in him. And he's like, why are y'all taking y'all disputes to court? You're taking your disputes. You say you're for me. You say you're for me, but you're now going to take your dispute to man, someone who is allowing the enemy to dictate what they do. Because if you're not allowing God to be the head of your life, you're automatically allowing the devil to be the head of your life. There's no getting around it. There's no in between. That's what it is. So you're going to now take your disputes where you can now tap into my mind, or ask me to tap into your mind. You ask me to tap into your mind so that y'all can figure out how to handle this. Then you're now going to now go around me and take this to the world and let the world dictate what you should do. And now you're all startled and flabbergasted when things don't work in your favor. It's not supposed to work in your favor because you're taking it to the world. So let's position ourselves to be a lot better at how we set ourselves up. You see that sign there? You either set yourself up, position yourself to be on success lane or failure drive. And most of us, unfortunately, we're okay with being on failure drive, but then want to act like we're on success lane. It don't work, okay? You're already telling on yourself, all right? So stop it. Let's position ourselves to set ourselves up so that we can not only live, but we can strive, we can thrive, and we're making the switch to setting ourselves up for success. Thank you, Pastor Steph.
Thank you, Shantice. Another practical switch tip. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Watch how we position ourselves. We pray you have a blessed day. Thank you for your contribution today.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Thank you. Woo-wee. How do we get out of this? because she just was all over what I wanted to say. So I'm going to take it from a different angle. I'm going to go back to what Pastor Steph always says. A big mess was once a little mess. So I always say stuff starts from childhood. So as a prosecutor, I'd also ask, did you speak to anyone in authority about problems you may have previously had, tension that you may have previously felt or experienced? Who did you speak to? Did your parents know you were armed with this knife? Did you set yourself up for success? Did you tell anyone? You know, we had a conversation where, I think it was last Friday, where we talked about, you know, when we were growing up, Pastor Kale brought it up actually, you know, we weren't taught to go tell. We were just taught to do damage. Somebody approached us, you just defend yourself. You know, and I was taught that. That's what my parents told me. They ain't talk about nothing about tell nobody. They was like, it's on you. You're being approached. Take care of matters. I in turn told my kids, listen, if you're not around me and you're a child, you are always around some level of authority. At 10, you're not the authority figure in the room. At 15, you're not an authority figure in the room. There is always someone who has to answer and help to really resolve any issues. So make sure you tell someone first. Make sure you tell me, and I got your back. If they don't do anything and you've told them already, and now they want to come for you, no, you didn't do your job. So as a prosecutor, I would be asking that question as well. So if you answered no, my parents didn't know I had the knife, my parents didn't realize that I was experiencing some things, that's also not a good look. It's not good for your defense. Here we are, we're talking about, you know, you literally defiantly, see, that's a defiant move. That defiant move says, I'm going to sit over here and I dare you to talk to me. I dare you to say anything. And like I said, one of the reasons why we know that is because when Austin told him, get up out this tent, it's not your tent, he didn't say, oh, you know what? I didn't even realize it. Or, you know what, it's cool, I'm sorry. Or just get up. Say nothing, just get up. No, you didn't. Your response was, you know what? Don't put your hands on me, I'm warning you. So what do you think happened? Austin probably felt, you're not going to punk me either. There's the challenge. And this is what happens in our lives. Shantice brought a very good point to the table, because that's where I was going. Don't set yourself up for failure. And for me, as a prosecutor, that's the picture I would be designing. That's the picture I would be painting. He set himself up to be approached because he was already prepared to respond. He did not wield the gun. Pay attention. So you brought the gun and you didn't even threaten with the gun. He put his hands on you and you didn't pull out the knife and say, you know what? I told you don't. Try it again, or whatever situation. And somebody, you know, they always say don't pull out a gun or a knife if you don't plan to use it. Again, street code. Oh, pay attention, street code. That's what he went in there believing, as far as what I'm hearing. As far as what I'm hearing, the coach asked him what happened. He said, I stabbed someone because he put his hands on me. That means that you never, ever, ever took the time to think of another resolution. That was the resolution that you had planned. That was the resolution that came to your mind. That's the resolution you went along with. Listen, I'm not about to sit here and debate whether, I can't see the comments. So I don't know what y'all are saying right now, but I'm not going to sit, if I'm a prosecutor, I'm not going to sit and try to figure out why you should have gone another route why you didn't go. No, I'm going for straight what you did, because I'm prosecuting you for your actions. And see, as young people, we're not learning this. We're not teaching them enough to stay on the other side of the fence. Stay out of their hands. And what you did was you put yourself in the hands of the enemy. How do we know it's the enemy? Because look at who you sitting up in front of. You live in Texas, for God's sake. Y'all keep going up and this is where his parents raised him, but this is where y'all living. Here in New York City, we may not have gotten, we may have gotten, a few more whites than blacks, but we ain't nowhere near all you got are white people on this. If you are black and if you're white, you only got black people. That ain't going down here. But out there, they'll do it and there's no blink of an eye. But because that relationship between mother, child, father, child, parents, and child, we've got to tighten that to help them to understand. Y'all got to stay out of this. Stay away from this. My question is, when the parents heard about this, did they realize that he was experiencing some things? And excuse me, in all the articles that I have read since the inception of this story, I have not heard anything about he told his parents, he didn't tell his parents, the parents knew, the parents didn't know. We have gotten nothing there. All we've heard is it happened, how the town responded, how they were threatening his life. And I do remember them specifically saying it was not the parents of Austin and the other kid. They said specifically it was the town's response. And they had to move them. They had to go do a GoFundMe in order to move them out of their town just for his safety. And now they move you out of the town for your safety, and you end up behind or sitting in front of 12 white people and 6 white alternates. Like I said, I'd be saying the same thing if you were a white defendant and you were sitting in front of a jury of your peers. First of all, they're not your peers. You're 19 years old now. You were 17, 18 when you committed the crime. These people that are sitting in front of you, black, white, red, green, or brown, they're not your peers. They're not your peers. So if I were 30, they might be my peers. But at 17, 18, and 19, they are not your peers. So already we've got problems, because already these people are adults. They've come to their own conclusions. They do things the way they feel they want to do them. They're under no one's tutelage anymore. No one's advising them and guiding them. They have come to where they are. You're going to be smashed with whatever they believe before they get to the seat. This whole thing with the judge telling them you're not supposed to get out here and talk. Don't read no social media. Don't read no news. Cut it out. Cut it out. Before I even hit this 600 jury pool, I had already heard everything. The world had heard everything. Excuse me. I'm in New York and I heard everything. So if they brought that here, if they brought the trial here, we would still be leaning based on what we've already heard. You can't wipe people's minds clean. You can't wipe people from what they believe and feel. So that's why it's important that we grab our children from early and get them to understand, this world is real. Stop trying to make people believe that y'all can live without God. Because I'm going to tell you something. I don't know how God would move in this situation. But we really understand that God loves and wants justice. And what we may not see as justice, God sees as justice. What we may see as justice, God may not see as justice. He's the one that's in control of all of this. He's the one who allows or disallows. His will prevail. But I'm going to tell you something. Living in him gives you a greater chance than living without him. And because we're not teaching our children what they need to do from when they're younger. So if I had a child who I was raising in church, and my prayer would be, that my child would be living by what I said. Pray before you, when you first get up. Pray before you leave the house. Pray as you're on your way to school. Pray when you get there. See, that already knocks the knife out the book bag, possibly. And I'm not saying that Christian people make the best decisions all the time. Anyway, I'm not saying that either. But again, how am I going to roll this dice? Am I going to roll this dice with all 99% of me crapping out? Or am I going to roll the dice with 99% that I'm going to be on the winning side? Because see, we don't know what God will allow in any event, but we're going to trust that regardless of everything, God's got our back. I cannot have that hope, even 1%, if I don't give God my life at all. I don't raise my children in him at all. So now everything we do, we're winging it. Everything we do, we're leaning to our own understanding. I don't have a clue as to whether this boy told his parents, mother or father, uncle, cousin, brother. I don't know. But all I do know is whether he told someone or not, he made a very conscious decision to do what he did. And as many people might want to justify that put him behind the 8 ball. Because now that puts into question his motive. See, he could say the outcome, like Pastor KL said, he could say the outcome was he was defending himself. But if your motive is questionable, then there goes the question of self-defense. And you don't ever want to be in that position. You want to know that you nailed this thing. Like I said, you have no business sitting on that side. When the boy reminded you that you didn't need to sit, you could say, well, he could have said it nicely. He shouldn't have had to say it at all. Again, I was the one who brought up the Knicks and the Spurs. I wish I would. See, Jalen Brunson sitting over there beside Wemby, whatever they call him. Why? What y'all talking about? How you paying attention to what your coach got for you if you sitting over there with the opposing team? Where's the mentality of that? Because let me tell you something. I've been on a sporting team before. And you stick with your group, because when the coach comes over and he or she is ready to say something to you, they ain't got to find you. We were not allowed to walk all over the place. When we were told, be at that bowling alley. Yeah, I was a bowler. Be at that bowling alley by 3:30. You did not arrive at the bowling alley at 3:30 to be over there buying soda, standing outside talking to your friend, over chatting with somebody else on the upside, even if we were friendly with the other team. 3:30 call meant you belong here because coach has something to say. Coach needs your head focused in what you're getting ready to do. If the coach said, okay, you know what, throw a couple of balls, get yourself ready, blah, 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 blah. How is it? And I'm going to tell you something, I'm real funny about that now. And that's happened when I was in school. And I'm real funny when we have an event, I don't want to look for you. I don't have no business looking for you. How are you accessible to me? How are you prepared to do this job when you're over there chatting, talking on the phone, texting? No, your head wasn't in the game. That's what happened with this boy. His head was not in the game. He was not prepared for the track meet. He was over there instigating, agitating the other team. Why were you sitting over there in the first place? Now they find you sitting in the wrong place at the wrong time with a weapon. You are going to be smashed on that if they don't talk about nothing else. if they don't talk about anything else, that right there could very well send you to jail. What are we doing with our children to help promote healthier decisions, safer decisions, more productive decisions? Stop being that parent. You don't want nobody to say nothing to your kid. This is where we go wrong. Because see, I used to tell my kids, you better tell your friends when they come through that gate, they belong to me. I don't give a damn on what their parents do with them. When they come through this gate, they belong to Stephanie. Now, if they can't handle the rules and regulations, I advise them to be on the other side of the gate. Because if I see or hear anything, I'm going to correct it. Whether you agree or whether you disagree. I ain't got nothing to do with that. So see, for me, as that type of parent who allowed, my kids couldn't go to someone's house if that person couldn't talk to them. If I didn't trust you to be able to say something to my kid, I didn't think you had that kind of logic and sensibility to talk to my kids, they weren't coming to your house. I don't care how much they play with your child. Let them play right there in that school, and when you dismiss, you go east, let them go west, and call it a day. But if that was the case, where I could trust them, when you go over there, you bet whatever they tell you to do, you already know what I done told you to do. If it ain't matching what they tell you to do, you leave. If you think it's destructive, you get up out of there. But by all means, if they're telling you what to do is right, you better make sure you behave. Are we teaching that to our kids now? The answer is no. We are too up in arms about who's talking to our kids. And if your kid wasn't a loose cannon, why would I be worried about who's talking to him? Ooh. If I'm giving them good advice as to where to go, excuse me, why am I so worried about who's talking to them? Because I'm not telling you, if so-and-so talk to you out in the street, why you talking to a stranger? See that? See, I'm going all those places. That's where Stephanie's going. Shantice, over 40 years old. I am still, if I see something, I'm saying something. If I see either of the other two, I'm speaking up. I don't care whether you, and I got one with a daughter, and we collide. That's our child, but we collide. Somebody can say, mind your business, you raised yours. We collide. And that's the way we need to be, making sure we're invested in our children's lives. Did he get that investment, but he went rogue on his own, didn't tell anybody? Or was that part missing from his life? We don't know. And that's a question I would love to ask. Because if he's got a younger brother or sister, boy, if they missed the mark with Carmelo, that was a huge miss. If they did not ride him the way they were supposed to, stay on top of him, pay attention. And I don't mean, as a nag. I mean, just be in what he's doing. Then they missed the mark, and it's a costly miss, a costly one. And they better catch the other ones behind them. Because see, now those kids are going to walk around mad because their brother, in their head, their brother defended himself. Their brother had to sit in front of an all-white jury. Their brother will probably go to jail. And now they mad. And now they're going to walk around possibly basing up because it ain't going to be them. See, we're going to have to stop, pay attention, and try to catch everything. We're going to be parents that make mistakes. There's not going to be one parent that does not make a mistake. But how are you going to let your mistakes carry you forward? Please, let's grab our children. And by all means, necessarily, let's get this job done. Pay attention to your children, but the only thing you can do better than anything else in this world is give your children to Christ. You've been watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. where we discuss matters of the heart, mind, and spirit as you go through your day. Be sure to set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. They will only serve as a distraction. Remember, prayer changes things. It's Pastor Steph signing off, and I want to thank my Due Time crew for always coming through big time. I want to say thank you to you for helping us keep that chat room alive, helping us do what we do. Please do not miss this opportunity right now, to accept Christ as our personal Savior. Please do not miss this opportunity to strengthen our relationship with the Lord right now. And here's why I keep saying right now. Because death does not have to be in the grave. Our decisions can kill us. So you need to make that decision to make Christ your personal Savior right now before you make the wrong decision possibly. Just for the last couple of minutes on a reminder, our conference is coming up. The Prayer and Awareness Walk is coming up. You got 17 social and health awarenesses to choose from. Please come join us on July 25th. You can still order your t-shirts. Please, Shantice, quickly put that phone number in the chat room. Please give us a call. Order your t-shirt. 513-900-1141. June 25th is the last day you can order your t-shirt. Also, on Thursday, God Spares at 7:30 right here on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Instagram Live. Another show, another episode of My Two Cents. Myself, Shantice, and that Brooklyn guy, Ainsley Harris, will be reviewing The Shine, Season 6. And episode 3 of the final season, number 8. Yeah, we're kind of flashing back and we're hanging out with the present. And I keep hearing some bits and pieces of some stuff that happened. So I got to hurry up and watch it before somebody else spills the beans. But make sure you join us. We've been having a great time. You're more than welcome to join us. Come chat. Let's see how Papa and Jake and all of these people are doing. We would love to talk to you about it, with you about it. All right. Until tomorrow, God spare ways. Let's talk about it Tuesday, Church Folk Day. Until then, I love you.